Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Rashmita, and I am the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. This session will run over the next 60 minutes, including Q&A. But before we begin, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. So please feel free to drop all your questions in the chat section. I would now like to welcome Swami, our speaker for today's session. He is an aspirant software architect and currently works at Applied Information Sciences. He loves to learn about new technologies, but for now, I will hand over to Swami to begin the session. Over to you, Swami.
Uh, yeah, Ashmita, good evening. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, good, good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys, for joining. And this is my GitHub, and this is speaker series. You'll see speaker series 2022, 23, 24, 25. So every year it will be one separate repo. And we have completed three sessions. So it's year 20. And the AI code is here. I'll come back to that, and I'll just take 1 minute time to explain again. We are going through the entire syllabus. I jumped the line after completing chapter 1 and chapter 2. Uh, Lack of better word, I'm using chapter 1 and chapter 2. We jumped. Okay, let me call learning path. This is good. LP. Learning path 1 and learning path 2. I jumped to learning path 6, generative AI, and then we came back to learning path 3. So in this learning path 3, we have completed two topics. That is text analysis as well as Q&A, and we did quite a few things in the Q&A, and today's focus will be CLU. Okay, so let's take a few minutes to discuss about this, and then it will be full on hands-on like every other demo. So I've given the meetup and YouTube link, and also the disclaimer. I'm still a learner, lifelong learner. So apologize if I do any mistake, and demos are kept simple. And these are the things which we are going to do today. And please fasten your seatbelt. And let's start with this. If you go to this playlist, and you will be able to see all the previous sessions, right from the first one all the way till there are 20 videos. Then 19 will be available, and the 20th will get uploaded in a day or two. You can see till 19, and 20 is will get uploaded. That's the current one which is getting recorded right now. So I will close that and come back to this one. This is a MS Learn module, and just will speak a little bit of this. And I've given the documentation. You have the full documentation. So instead of copy pasting, I just took only one or two lines, used the AI models to rephrase it. That's the only thing I did it. So I always fall back on the official documentation. So here, if you see this this point, the NLP and CLU, there are a couple of terms. I'll just go through that, and we'll speak about that for a minute. Okay. So this natural language processing, like when we speak, computer understands and it gives us an answer. Okay, it has got some of the things which we just spoke about, that simple text analysis to complex speech recognition. Simple text, like I gave what is your name, and it says that, okay, my name is ChatGPT or something like that. Okay, so subset of that natural language processing is natural language understanding. Okay, is about extracting the meaning of that. So if I'm saying that what is your name, that means what is the meaning of that, what is the intent. So similarly, it is not just about recognizing the words but understanding the meaning in the context. Like, why I'm asking this question, maybe fourth or fifth question I might ask something like it has got the deep inner meaning from the previous four Q&A. So those kind of things, it extracts the meaning out of that uh, text or language, whatever we have given. So if you see that conversational language is a specific natural language understanding. So CLU is one of the specific natural language understanding. Okay. So with CLU, what we can do is we can train custom models and understand the intent behind users' input and extract the important details called entities. So that means I'm asking, what are the top five breakfast items in Paris? So in that, Paris is an entity. So it understands. We can train that cuisines or something. We'll see that in a real time in a minute or two. But it understands the intent behind and go and extract. I mean, we will train it. Everything, it's not that it does it automatically. We will train it. Religiously, we'll give step by step, and the process is pretty good. I really enjoyed working on this particular exercise. So I'm all excited. Okay, this allows our application to go and truly get the meaningful conversation with the users. And pre-built capabilities of Azure AI language services. So this one also we will directly see from here. So we can see this natural language processing, and okay, this we will come back to this one while doing exercise. It's a full 40 minutes hands-on it will be. So let's spend there, but at least we will see here. So pre-built capabilities of AI. So we know the summarization, named entity. So whether the places or the companies or famous people. So some of the things like identifying the people is very much restricted because it's not given to everyone. There might be a security issue to identify a public figure, so they might. I mean, it's a limited release kind of thing. We need to give them the intent. Why do we need and get the permission for that, and also the personally identifiable information like whether the email address, home address, IP address, name, protected health information. All these things are personally identifiable information. Like if you see that SQL database, Azure SQL database, from the connection string, the FQDN of the Azure, that itself, I feel that it's a security threat. I can't put the FQDN of my SQL server on web and say that, oh, it's not a security threat. No, it's a security threat. See, it's clearly IP address is a personally identifiable information. I give my IP address means I'm inviting threat, isn't it? So even the FQDN of a SQL server is a personally identifiable information. It's a security threat. You can't think that it's not an secret. It is a secret. Any IP address, like your home address, can you think that your home address is not a secret? It is a secret. So those things are pretty secret. I personally feel even the FQDN is a secret. Now, key phrase extraction and sentiment analysis, language detection, those kind of things. Long ago, someone asked me sentiment analysis. I think I could not answer it properly, but I'll come back to that. He was asking about if I give a statement which has got a positive and a negative sentence mixed into that so that it gives mixed results. So how can we do a deep dive? When I was reading another article, I looks like found something. So I'll come back to that little later. I remember, but it's on me. I'll come back. And also language detection. We saw whatever the sentence. If the paragraph has got mixed sentences, it gives the largest number of characters, or based on that, it says that it identifies the uh, language of that particular paragraph or a documentation. Now, if you see that learned features, one is conversational language understanding. why we are calling learned features, I didn't understand what is this learned features, but just hold for a couple of minutes, we'll see that. That means we will train the model to identify, to do this job, what we want the model to do, we will tell it. Okay. Someone will greet, they'll say hi, someone will say bro, someone will say something else, someone say dude, someone say yo, or different things are there. So if we categorize all these things as a greetings, so then if the conversational UI, if user asks any of these things, hey man, or hi, or yo dude, something like that, all those things we can categorize as greetings, wishing two people wishing each other. So that's how we will train. So these are the learned features. CLU is one of the feature which we saw that it's of language, natural language understanding, one of the piece. So we, one of the branch, sorry, it's not a piece, one of the branch. CLU does require data to be tagged. We'll see that. Let's not jump into that now. Custom named entity we didn't do. We'll come and work on that in future. And text classification, we worked on the uh, question and answers. Okay, we did that. We'll see that question answers for 1 or 2 minutes, understanding the resources. So now we'll stop there and we'll come back to the documentation. So I've given that, and here if you see, let's come back to this one. And oh, we can go directly from here, there's no need to go there. So you can see this, we came here. There's a small thing which we need to know is when the documentation says that it needs the endpoint, there will be multiple endpoint. If you see this, this is the multi-region account. So if you see this, AI service East US 001. So this is a multi-service account. And at the same time, if you see this, this is a Azure OpenAI account. The symbols are little different, but we need to understand that which endpoint we have to give. And this is the language service account, because the learning path which we are discussing is the language. It's more majorly focusing on the language service. So we need to understand that right now we are working on the language service. Okay. And when you come back to the language service, here you will have a studio. I've given the link in that, or you can come and click on this one. Directly, it will take you to the language.cognitive.azure.com. That's the language studio. I'll close this. That has got more benefits. We will see that. And this is the FAQ, which we worked on the question answering project. Okay, question answering project which we worked in the previous session. So you can see that we did all the three types we worked. We worked on the URL, we worked on the files, we worked on the chart. So I'll close that, and clock is the one which is we are doing right now. I will keep that open. And see how do you do the deployment of the model and other things. We will follow the documentation. I mean, the exercise file which they have given, we will follow this exercise. This is a big exercise. We'll follow that step by step. We will do it. So somehow I'll keep the existing one as it is, and I'll create a new one. So the first thing is we need to create a AI resource, so which we already have created the AI resource and we are using. So, and another specific thing is when I say AI resource, that means the specific uh, category. So it's not that I'm speaking about the multi-account one. I'm speaking here in this case, we are speaking about the language service. We are speaking about the language service. So that also we have seen that we went to resources and we can go and click on AI services and select, either you can do AI services and select the language service. So this is a multi-service account, and we can search the language, or we can directly come and select the language service. We can search for the language service and we can identify this one. Okay, AI service. Let- Let's come back to that one. And now conversational language understanding project. Let's create one of this one now. So I'm here at this point of time. So you can see here we have the studio, and we played quite a few things which we played here. Where did we play most? Is it the classified text? Detect language, yeah. Under the classified text, if you see that natural language understanding NLU, we worked on that detect language. And other things we didn't spend time, we will come back based on the syllabus. And then we spent a decent amount of time on the question answering. And today we'll be spending on conversational language understanding. Okay, so just give me a minute. I'll have a glass of water. Okay, so we can do that way, or another way is we can click on this one. We can specifically go into this and select the CLU and create from there. Or here, if you see that there are multiple things, the type, if you see, the type is different types, it is allowing us to create it. So I'll go back here and click on the drop down, and here it gives us a choice whether you want custom named or custom text or Q&A. This is the one which we created last time. Now we are creating conversational language understanding. Okay, let me start. This section is done. Create a conversational language understanding. And here it's clock. We'll create clock 1, clock V1. Okay, we create clock V1. Utterance is English, and multi-language will uncheck that. The description is natural language, NLU clock, or natural language, whatever it is. We want to keep it, we'll keep that, and just we'll click on create. So that's the first step. We just created the project. Okay. Now we need to create the intent. Let me come back here and the documentation. This is the first step. And once that is done, it will show this over here. So let me come back and see. If I come back to this one, it shows two. Clock V1 is the one which we are working. Or if you go to the language studio, you will see all the projects over here with multiple types. So let's specifically go into the clock V1, that which is that we are working now. So first thing what we need to do is we need to create define some intent. Okay, predict the intent user is requesting. So if you see somewhere here, they mentioned that it might fail. If it fails, we need to retry. Yeah, this one model. Sometimes it fail, but I didn't face any issues. But I'm telling now that I'm doing live, even if it fails, we will retry that. Okay, so we need to create the intent. What is the intent? So we need to go to the schema definition. So here, if you see on the left side, so if I go to the language studio, it is not there. But when we like context based menus kind of thing. So if you come here in this, I'll close this. So here in the particular, you can see CLU project. In that CLU project clock V1, you see this is the home. And this is different projects. And this one is schema. And this is data labeling, training job, model performance, and deploying a model and testing a model. This is project settings. You can see that project settings, whatever we have selected, it shows there. Now let's go to the schema definition here. So this is none. So none, if you see that, where is this none used means, here in the define intent. So these are the intent here, represents a task or an action user wants to perform, or more simply the meaning of an utterance, like what is the time, what time is it, or what is the time, tell me the time. That means the intent is I want to know the time, like I want to know the weather, something like this. So the none false is something which doesn't fall in any of the intents which we define. So none will be used here. So by default, when we create a project, you can see that none will be there. So that means anything that doesn't fall under these categories, none schema will be taken care. Uh, and the next thing is, let's start going. There are a lot of things we need to do. So on the first thing, what we need to do is, in the schema, we need to go and add. We need to add the intent. Like if it is you want to eat something, a specific item, sweet or something, cake. So you can ask questions in different ways. Like you can speak about plum cakes or something, but the intent is you want to eat a cake. So something of that kind. Now after that, get time, we will add few other intents. One is get date and get day, and so date, day, and time. We added three of those intent. Now for this, each of this intent, we need to give the sample utterances. Okay. If I say time, please, so it should, the intent is I need to get the time of that. So here, similarly, what is the time? So if you see that, we need to select the get date and add these, these are the utterances for that one. So how do we add? Select the utterance, and we need to be very careful. Get time. I mean, even if you do mistake, don't worry, we will be able to correct it. Okay, we need to come back here, and that was what was that? It is get time. So if you place that over here and just enter, you will see that it will come. And let us add these three also. We'll place it here, and this one also will place it there. Okay, and tell me the time. We can add time, please, and other things, but let's stick to the game plan. Whatever is given in this documentation, we'll follow that one. That's done. So then next thing is, we need to change to the get day. Instead of this one, get day. So let me add this one, and let me add this. This is the third one. And very important step is, once you're done with any one of the section, please click on save changes, because quite a few times when I was trying last night, I forgot and I lost the changes. And for 5 minutes, I was searching where did my text go. The next one is get date. We fill get time, get day, and now next is get date. So these are the sample utterances or sentences or phrases, whatever. If someone is asking, that means his intention is to know the time. Like if someone is asking, I'm hungry, that means his intention is to eat some food. So and if, I mean, that also we can break like this. If someone generically, if he's asking, I'm hungry, it's food, he wants to eat some food or beverages or whatever, snacks or something. We have to define very specifically, easy asking in the morning or afternoon and the evening, and again give some more details. Something light, I want to eat some, so we can think that, oh, he's thinking about some snacks or something like that. Okay, so we've added the utterances. So we have 12 utterances as of now. So we have 12 utterances. So right now, get date and get time. So we have the filter also. You can see if I go and add all the things. So you can see that there are 12 items. You can see the 12 results. Or if I want to see any specific things, we can do, or else we can clear the filter. You'll see that filtered by this, or you can remove that, and you'll see all the 12 items in this list. Train and test the model. Okay, in this on this panel, training jobs. So the first one is schema we have defined, and then we will come back for the data labeling. As of now, we have created the intents and we have created the utterances. We'll come back for the data labelings again. So here we need to do the training. So we'll say that start the training job. So in the training job, we'll give all clock v1 so that it will not. Okay. So this, if you go with the advanced training, we will not get the model performance properly. Last night I tried it and it was pretty bad because we have given only four sentences. It's nowhere to the real production time or even for the sample POC project. So this is one which works very good. And all were zero. Whatever the things which I was trying, the model performance, everything was zero because it said that the data is not enough because that's it tries to do an advanced training. Okay, so standard. Click on train. It will take a couple of minutes. Will not take much time, but we'll wait for that. In the meanwhile, is there something which we can look at it? We saw the schema definition, and this we saw. And inside the data labeling, we saw that. And in the training job, it will be like this. It is this. And once that is done, we need to go to the model and select the model performance. Everything was zero when I tested with the real time one, which is a paid one. It's the free. I tried that, but no way it matched with the production one. Okay. Um, it is complete. The training is pretty much complete. Model name it as given. Let's see that whether it shows in the model. Okay, I think it's still calls itself as a training. It says at 100% complete. We'll come back to that. So if you see that precision, a couple of things. Yeah, this one F1 score. I've given this the meaning of that. I mean, how well the model has been performance, how well it is like precisions or recall measure, how often the model correctly identifies an intent, and FN score, all the formulas, everything I've given. What happened to this? Yeah, I've given. And the confusion matrix is how correctly it is behaving. Okay, or how often it incorrectly predicted the intent, false positives. So these kind of things will be here. Confusion matrix, these things will be here. Okay, the training has been succeeded. So you can click on that, you will see the training job details, and we can go to this model over here and click on this. So you can see this all the meaning, but still things are missing, but we should get the real-time data. You can see the confusion matrix. Okay, you can see this. It is pointing over here. Get date. This is one it shows. And what is the date? I mean, these are like a true positive test type results, like data set distribution. A lot of things it is missing, but just to understand the process, we are doing this one. Like if you see that precision, recall, and FN score is good for that, but for get date and time we don't have. So you need to dig again deep into the stats to give it a proper data. we don't have that much time at this point of time, but whatever is there, we will see that one. We have trained it and we saw the model performance. And here you can see this metrics and other things. We can go deeper. I just use chat gpt to get a few bulleted points on the model performance, like fn score, like 2 into precision and recall, and what precision and what recall is, and what confusion matrix. Just I have bought that one. So the next thing is deploying a model. So deploy a model means it's on this one. So if you mouse over, you will see the schema and data labeling, training, and model performance. We saw that, and we will deploy the model. Now we go here and create a deployment. And in the deployment, it is asking to use production. We'll use production v1 lowercase. That's what it is using. We'll use the same, and this clock v1, and then I'll just say click on that deploy, so that goes and deploys this one. Now we'll wait until it gets deployed. It'll be pretty quick. So if you click on that, you can get the prediction URL, but we don't need it at this point of time. We'll come back to that one. Or again, we can override the deployment. We will override, definitely. We'll override. Just give a few minutes time. So right now we have this product v1 that is ready. Now, what is the time now? And we'll run this test. Yep. Yeah. So, Rashmita, are there any queries?
Yes, we do.
Uh,
Okay, so let me get those questions up for you,
yeah, I
Swami. Can
can
you
see
see it on
here.
the screen?
Yeah, I can see here.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Uh, uh, okay. What off screen? I don't think they are monitoring the chart. Okay. Okay. Can't we get DeepSeek to do this for us? Oh, Clive, I think so. I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I really didn't try the DeepSeek till now, so I'm not sure on that one, Clive. And speaker window so much. I'll increase the font, Harry. I don't think they're monitoring. Please move to bottom right. Okay. So this side, mine picture, or I can go stop the video so that you'll get full space on this one. Okay, I stopped the video, so I think now it will be good. Just let me know if there are any other queries. We'll see that. Clive, I never tried this DeepSeek, so I'm really not sure. I didn't even read any documentation, even the Hello World, so I can't speak on that. Thanks. Okay, so what is the time now? We saw that, and we need to click on this one, run test. And what is the day today? So a couple of sample tests which they have given, and I think we can try this one also. So it's predicting wrong. The intent should be uh, none, because it doesn't follow with any of the utterances which we have given. This doesn't follow. Okay, that should be fine. So now we need to add few entities to this one. So what we did is we have defined some of the intents, and then we came and we wrote few utterances and tagged it to a particular intent. And now the next thing what we will do is we need to add the entity to the schema definition so that we can come back and tag what is an entity in a particular utterances. So that's what we will be doing now. So let's go back to the schema definition again. And this time we'll click on this, add an entity. And this entity is location. And this is called as learn. So that means it clearly says that when we have an utterance, we need to select it and select the type of that. So we'll see. I'll show you in a minute. Just a minute, okay? So that's the one we added, location, add an entity. Now what we need to do is we need to go back to the utterances data labeling and select the get time, and we'll come back here, data labeling, and then what we will be doing is we'll be selecting the get date. Not here, get date. Okay, we'll be selecting the get date in the data label. Oh, it's get time, I'm sorry. It is get time, and inside the get time, what is the time in London? Okay, that belongs to get time, and we'll come and we'll block this London. It shows the drop down. We'll tag that piece as a location. Now tell me the time in Paris, and again this is the get time, and we'll select Paris, and what is the time in New York? That's again get time. We'll have no. Wow. So that's the location, and I'll do a save because sometimes we'll forget and it goes. So we have added these three. And the next thing is we can have inside the schema definition itself, we can have the list. Okay, let's go back to the schema definition where we added the location. So this time we'll select as a list. Okay, so that means there'll not be anything inside the learned or the pre-built or the regular expression, but it will come back over here in the list. So in the list, it is these things we can add it, but I'll just show this one piece. So here, if you want to add a new list, Tuesday. So Tuesday, we can call it as TUE or TUES. Just add. When you add the word, it itself will tag it as a button kind of thing, and then you will see that those two words will get tagged to Tuesday, like these things. Okay, so I just wanted to show you because we'll use the clock which I already created last night. So now what we can do is select the date, and here we need more, but at least we created Tuesday. I will call this as TUES so that at least we'll see that inside the get date. So let me come back to the data labeling, and we will be selecting the get date inside the get date, and I will call it as TUES. Okay, this TUES, this I can select and I can tag it as a weekday. Now this is how we train the list. So now again what we can do is we can go back and add the pre-built entity. So now again we'll go back to this. Oh, no. That's what I told. Sometimes I forget and we lose all the changes, whatever we did it. So now we'll go back to this one and here add a pre-built. I didn't try the regular expression, but I tried all these three. In the pre-built, add a pre-built, and inside that there is the date time. So we'll select and we'll click on save. And again we'll come back to the data labeling, and there are two different things. So we will try these two, because this is in this date format and this is in another date format. We need to tag it properly. How many different date types user might give? We need to give one of those samples so that model will understand. So this I'm tagging it as a date. What if user gives the date in a different format? So that from here, if you see this 31st to all the way here, that is the date. So now we need to retrain the model. So let us save the changes. So we have updated it and we tagged it also. We created the entities and we have intents, we have utterances, and in the data labeling, we went and selected the specific pieces of the utterances and then we tagged it. Now we need to go back to the training jobs. Now we can start the training, override the existing one. So we do have clock V1. Let's use the same standard. Now, I mean, we didn't give the enough labeling for it. Previously, when we did the quick training or the free one, we had four utterances of each type, and it was able to do, and it gave us 100% on all three of those F1 precision. But here, we gave lesser data. The model performance will be little bad for sure. I'll show the other model performance which I created. Let's see its model performance and then we'll compare, because here I've added more data this morning. I mean, not more data. What are the data it is given in the Microsoft documentation? I've added it. Now in the live show, we added little less. So definitely there will be a little bit of variation. If you see this, previously the precision, recall, and F1 score were all 100, but now if you see that this is come back to 75, it fell down. Let's see what will be this training data. Okay, let's go back to the model and select the model performance. Woo! I don't believe that. Okay, did I select the wrong one? I doubt. Let's wait. Let's give it a chance. In that case, I did some mistake in the previous one. Let's go to the model. Okay, this is the one. Wow. Okay, that's good. Oh, to see this. Okay, so there was something wrong in the previous iteration, whatever I tried in this morning. But this is the correct one. It is properly giving the model performance. It was able to read all the data. But in my previous yesterday and today, whatever I was trying, if you see that, oh, did a little bit better job than yesterday. It is doing it, but today's one V1, whatever we are doing, it is exactly matching all 100%. It is giving. This is a positive sign as of now. Okay, so we retrained that, and again we need to deploy it. We'll come back to the deployment. Now I'll click on add a deployment. Let's override the existing one. We will call this production V1 and let's select the model. Okay. So now if you select that, here we'll get the prediction URL. So we can come back to the testing phase and we can ask this question. I mean, it might not work properly because I didn't give all the data, but at least if it is working, it will work. But I didn't give all the information, so it is my mistake. So I think the locations it should be able to identify because we have given enough location. And another thing is date. I mean, this I need to tag it as Tuesday because that's the only data we have given. And let's try this one, the date March 7th, that it is properly identifying. So this is what is it on Friday instead of Friday. Let me call it as TUE, Tuesday, because that's the only information we have given. Okay, 100% confidence it is giving. Let's try Friday. I didn't do that. So, okay, it is identifying. That's cool. So it is identifying. So now let's come back to the postman. How do we test this with the postman? So what we can do is we did this exercise in the Q&A. Now we'll see with this one. So I'll minimize this. I'll click on that. And if you see this, this is the path of that. And also analyze conversations. So in the Q&A, if you see that, in the Q&A, it was query knowledge base. So that was the one. And if you see the here, if you see that it is analyze conversation, and that it will give that. How do you get it? So we can come back to the deployment here, select a particular deployment. Now, select a particular deployment over here and get the prediction URL. So those has been deployed as an API. Now we should be able to hit the API. Now, if you go to this conversation, how do you know that these are the parameters we should give? So one thing what we can do is we can learn it from the prediction URL itself. They give the curl example. We can do that one. Or another thing is in the SDK, whatever we are passing. So we can come back to that and we will take only those pieces of information. Like you see this kind should be conversation. So let's come back to the postman. You can see this, the kind should be conversation. And another object is analysis input. So you can see this analysis input. Now conversation item. So these three are important inside the conversation. So I can remove that modularity also. But another thing is here in the deployment name and project name. So the project name was V1 and the deployment is this one. And if I send this request, you see that it is clearly giving this. Now if I now don't save this, if I come back and want to change this to hello, oh sorry, I was doing it wrong place. We do that, same thing. Oh, that's what I'm saying. It should tag this as category none, but instead it is categorizing it as get date. It should categorize as none. Okay, that's not a problem. Then we can try couple of these utterances. So we can come back and give this. Okay, and let's see something from Tokyo. So it should identify the location also. So you can see this get time is there. Top intent, it has come. And from the entity's perspective, you can see that uh, it is tagging the entity Tokyo as a location entity. And I think the next thing what we can do is do the C# programming to see that. And again, it's a same project I'm updating every time. So if you see that the inference cluster where we got the prediction URL, for that again the Q&A project name and the deployment project name here I hard coded, but I will move that to the app settings. So I just gave the example app settings. So please understand that when in the documentation it says that language service URL, so that means we are pointing to the language one. Okay. So let's see this here. We need to get the NuGet package. So you see this, the NuGet package, AI conversation 1.1.0. So that's there. Next thing is we do this to all these imports are here. And here we create the client in the step. Here, language service endpoint. But if you see the documentation, I was confused. I mean, it's not, there was nothing wrong in that, but I was confused because when I went to the base code, which is given, why did I was confused. Why? Yeah, here, just give me 1 minute. Why was I confused? Let's go here. This is the base code. See this because of this label, AI service endpoint. So in my app settings, I had for AI service, I had one value, key value pair. This was pointing to the multi-service account. For language service, I said that AI language service endpoint. So when I saw this, I got confused. I mean, even though they're pretty clearly calling the prediction endpoint and prediction key, I overlooked it and it troubled me a little. So I have wasted 20 minutes of my time scratching my head. And that's done. And after that, it just goes through the loop. We get the data and see this the details. I mean, this is what it has to go into the app settings, like project name and the deployment name. It shouldn't be hard coded. Now I can't use the I can't use the in .NET, and I think that might not be needed for Python, I assume. I'm not sure. Yes, under the parameters, it's not. And rest is like auxiliary functions are there. Let's check that in a minute. Let's go. Because if I see the model performance, whatever I created yesterday and today, I worked on yesterday and today morning, that model performance is not good. Let me stop and re-execute this. Sometimes what happens is, I don't know, for some reason that doesn't work properly if the window is open for a long time, because the cursor was not at the point where I was expecting. So the cursor was here previously. It should be here. Okay. Now, first thing is we type hello, and that is coming a top intent. Oh God, the prediction top intent should be none. Anyways, that is fine. Okay, we shouldn't worry about that. And let's try a couple of these things. And what is the time? That's okay. So what is the time? is get time. Conference score is this one. And what is the date? We'll try this one of this. What is the date? So get date. The top intent is 9/7, and what day it is. We'll try this. Okay, that's what was that? Get day. Conference score is this, and what day is this? I think it should point to date. Entity type, it recognized it as a date properly. That's what we wanted. Entity type, it is recognized. Or this, it will not. I will change it to Tuesday. Okay. Now, when I change it to Tuesday, perfect. It under the entities, it identified as a category type weekday. And this one piece we'll test it. And what is the time in London? Ah, let me copy this and test it. Let's see. Yeah, entities. So we tried all the three things. We tried the entity location and entity date time and entity weekday. Weekday was a list and date time was predefined, and the location was learned. So when it is location, we had to go and train it. That's the we called it as a learn. So quick summary: we created a project, and in the project first we created set of intents, and then for each intent we gave bunch of very few utterances, but in real time it should be more. And then we came back to the schema. We created the entities. I mean, I didn't try the regular expression, but apart from that, the learn, pre-built, and list, we tried it. So list, we saw that we can give the list of items, and in the location, how do we train it? Again, we'll come back to the training, and here we'll block any of the label or the content or the partial utterance and tag it to a particular entity so that it will be able to recognize. And then we do a training, and we can do quick train or the advanced training. uh, Advanced training, it doesn't, I mean, for me it didn't work because with this very less number of data, it will use different advanced algorithms. So I don't know, it didn't work, but this version worked pretty good for me when I compared with the uh, project which I worked last night and today. It gives a better results in all the places. And we saw that after the model performance, we will be deploying it, and we can select that and click on prediction URL. So that's where we get this prediction URL, and the format inside the prediction URL, it gives the prediction URL with the curl command. So from that curl, I have picked up the bits and pieces to make this. So the next thing is you can test it here itself in the studio. Like if you do have multiple deployments of different CLU projects, you can select different CLU and try. So something related to the hotel and something related to shopping mall or different use cases, we can pick that. And uh, and then we tested that using the Postman, and we saw that how do you identify this is we can go back to the sample code which was given, and inside the sample code the object which is being passed. So here if you see this, for this analyze conversation, this is an object. So the kind analysis input, and the parameters. I mean, there could be more. I'm not telling that this is the exact one, but at least this gives us a decent clue. Like language is en, we can add this one here, text, and we said that, and just click on that. There's a v1, isn't it? Yeah, here we specified the model name. Yeah, v1. So we can get a decent clue. Is logging enabled and all these things will either the Python version or the C sharp version. We can go to those two blocks and find out that. Okay, that's it from my side. Back to you, Rashmita.
Thank you so much, Swami, for hosting this session, and thank you all for joining us today. I have already shared Swami's social handle. Please feel free to reach out to him if you have any further question. Uh, Please do share your feedback about today's session as it will help us to curate future session. Scan the QR code and do share your feedback. Today's event ID is 24621. And feel free to use the Learn module link. This will give you access to additional resources to take your learning further. Thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your day.